video that you asked for. First thing is just changing mixed numbers into, or mixed fractions into improper fractions. You're just simply going to do denominator times the whole number plus the numerator. So it's written out here, denominator times whole number plus numerator all over denominator. So if I have 3 and 4/7, I'm going to take 7 times 3 plus 4 all over 7. So 21 plus 4 is 25. I have 25 over 7. The first one is just adding fractions. I have 3 and 1/3 plus 2 and 5/6. First thing I need to do is put it in improper fraction. So I'm going to do that. 3 times 3 plus 1. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So I have 10 over 3. Then 6 times 2 is 12 plus 5 is 17. 17 over 6. I'm first going to look to see if one denominator can go into the other. 3 can go into 6. So 3 times 2 equals 6. So I'm going to multiply the first fraction by 2. Whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom, and vice versa. So 2 times 10 is 20. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 17 over 6. 20 plus 17 is 37 over 6. Then I say, how many times does 6 go into 37? It goes into 6 times. So I'm going to take 37 and subtract 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 37 minus 36 is 1. So I have 1 over 6. I'm subtracting 4 and 3/5 minus 2 and 4/7. You're doing the exact same thing. Okay, so first I'm going to put it in improper fraction. So 5 times 4 plus 3. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 3 is 23 over 5 minus 2 times 7 is 14 plus 4 is 18 over 7. Now, 5 cannot go into 7, 7 cannot go into 5. Therefore, I'm going to multiply the first fraction by the denominator of the second fraction. So I'm going to multiply the top by 7 and the bottom by 7. 23 times 7 is going to be, that's 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 2 is 61. So I have 61 over 7 times 5 is 35. Then I'm going to have multiply the second fraction by the first denominator. So times 5 times 5. 18 times 5. 5 times 8 is 40. 0, carry the 4. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So I have minus 90 over 35. So then I have to take 161 minus 90. 1 minus 0 is 1. 16 minus 9 is 7. So I have 71 over 35. Then I'm going to say, how many times does 35 go into 71? Twice. So I'm going to take 71 times 35 times 2. 35 times 2 is 70. So 71 minus 70 is 1. So be 1 over 35 is your final answer. Right, here's another subtraction. I want you to pause the video and try this, and then unpause it and see if you get it. Okay, so now that you've completed that problem, let's solve it. So the first thing I'm going to do is change this to improper fraction. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19 over 5, minus 1 over 3. 5 cannot go into 3, and 3 cannot go into 5. So I'm going to multiply the first fraction by 3. And I have to, whatever I do on the top, I have to do on the bottom. 19 times 3 is going to be 9 times 3 is 27. So 7, carry my 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 2 is 57. So I'm going to have 57 over 15. And then I'm going to multiply my second fraction by 5. So I'm going to have minus 5 over 15. 57 minus 5 is 52 over 15. How many times does 15 go into 52? Well, 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 3 is 45. So it'd be 3. So I have my 3. I'm going to subtract 52 minus 3 times 15, which is 45. So that's going to give me 7. So my answer is 3 7/15. If you didn't get that, I want you to look back and see what you did wrong. All right, so I have 1 over 8 times 2/3. So when you're doing this and there's not mixed numbers, you just multiply straight across. So 1 times 2 is 2. 8 times 3 is 24. Then I'm going to see if I can reduce. Can I take 24? Can I put 2 into 24? I can. I'm going to divide both of them by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 24 divided by 2 is 12. All right, now let's look at this one. 3 1/2 times 6. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the improper fraction. So 3 times 2 plus 1. So I'm going to have 7 over 2 times 6 over 1. You got to put that over 1. 7 times 6 is 42. 2 times 1 is 2. And I can take 42 divided by 2. I get 21. Now, my third one, again, I would pause the video and try to solve it this way and then check. But you have 2 1/3 times 3 3/4. So I'm going to multiply and then add, change it to improper fraction. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 7 over 3 times 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So 15 over 4. 15 times 7, that's 35. 7, so that's 105 over 12. So we need to determine how many times 12 can go into 105. So I know that 12 times 8 from just trial and error is 96. So it's going to be 8. And then I'm going to take 105 minus 96, which is going to give me 9. So then I'm going to have 8 9/12. But I can reduce that 9/12, I can divide everything by 3. So my final answer is going to be 8. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 8 3/4. Right, so this is for rounding. If the number directly to the right is greater than 5, you're going to move the number up. If the number is directly to the right is less than 5, you're going to keep it the same. So in this case, I have 0.9463290. So I'm going to, this is the number I want to round to. So I'm going to look directly to the right. It's a 3. It's less than 0, or it's less than 5, so it's going to stay the same. So then when my rounded answer is 9.946. You get rid of everything else to the right. Now, if I want to round this number right here, again, I look to the right. It's a 9. So that means I have to bump this number up. So I'm going to have 0.94633. The rest of them go away. All right, so this is multiplying decimals. You're going to multiply. You're going to ignore the decimals to start with and just multiply like normal. So 6 times 3 is 18. I put the 1. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Cross that out so I don't try it again. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Remember, you got to put your little place value. You add them. 8 plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 1 plus 9 is 10. Now I'm looking to see how many numbers are to the right of the decimal. I have 1, I have 2. That tells me how many numbers are going to be the right of the decimal. So it's going to be 10.58. Now again, we're going to look at this one. Ignore the decimal. I have 0.27 times 73. Ignore the decimal to start with. I have 3 times 7, which is 21. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 3 times 0 is just 0. Then I have my placeholder. 7 times 7 is 49. So we cross that 2 out and put a 4. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 4 is 18. Add them up. 1 plus 0 is 1. 8 plus 9 is 17. 8 plus 1 is 9. 1. Now I'm looking, and I have a decimal 2 places. There's no decimal on 73, so you just put the decimal. So there's 2 numbers to the right of the decimals, so you would have 2 numbers to the right of the decimal. On this one, I have 3.3 times 0.89. Again, I'm going to multiply. 9 times 3 is 7 times 2. 9 times 3 is 27 plus 2 is 29. Cross that out. Put a 0. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 2 is 26. And we know that 0 times 3 and 0 times 3 is just 0. So 7 plus 0 is 7. 9 plus 4 is 13. That's a 2. Plus 6 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Bring down my 2. Now this one, it's a little bit different. I have 1, 2, 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. So that means I'm going to have 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. So my answer would be 2.9. All right, this is changing fractions into decimals. So the first thing I'm going to do is have 5 and 7/8. So I'm going to ignore the 5 to start with. I'm going to put, and I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to put the numerator inside, denominator on the outside. How many times does 8 go into 7? 0, so 0 and a dot. For my 0, and then I bring down the 0. 8 goes into 78 times. 8 times 8 is 64. Bring in a 6. I bring another 0 down. 8 goes into 67 times. So it'd be 56. Which then is 4. Bring down another 0. It goes into 45 times. 8 times 5 is 40. So my answer is 0.875. On the next one, 21 over 50, I want you to pause it and see if you can figure it out. Okay, you're going to have the numerator inside, the denominator on the outside. How many times can 50 go into 21? It can't, so 0 and a dot. 0, so I have 200. I'm going to bring down a 0, so 210. 50 goes in 210 4 times, which is just 200. Subtract that, that's 10. I'm going to bring down another 0. 50 goes to 100.423. 2 times. So 50 times 2 is 100. Subtract that, that's 0. So my answer is 0.42. All right, now these are changed into fractions. So I'm looking here, I have 2 places to the right of the decimal, so that means I'm going to put a 1 underneath and then 2 zeros with 32 on top. And then I'm going to divide to see. So I'm going to look here, this is an easier way to do it. My factors of 32 are 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. So 1 times 32 gives me 32, 2 times 16 gives me 32, and 4 times 8 gives me 32. Just erase those. Then my factors of 100, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, because 10 times 10, 5 times 20 is 100, 4 times 25 is 100, 2 times 50, and then 100. And then I'm looking to see the greatest common factor, which would be 4. So then I can divide both of them by 4. You can also just divide by 2 and then keep going down that way. 32 divided by 4 is 8. 100 divided by 4 is 25. Let's separate this. All right, so now I have 0.568. So I'm going to put 568 over 1 and then 3 zeros, so over 1,000. I could do it this way, or I could just break it down. So I think we're going to see if 568 divided by, I can do 4. So we're going to start with 4. 568 divided by 4 is 142. 1,000 divided by 4 is 250. I can divide that both by 2. 142 divided by 2 is going to be 71 over 125. And that is actually the lowest you can break it down. So that would be your answer. 3.241. Again, I'm going to ignore the whole number and I'm going to just put 241 over 1 and then 3 zeros because there's 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. And we're going to see if 241. Actually, let's change this number to a 2 just for our sake to make our lives a little easier in this example. 242 divided by 2 is going to be 121. 1,000 divided by 2 is 500. Now let's see, 121 divided by 3, that is a decimal. $121 divided by 11 is 11, but I can't take 500 and divide by 11 and get a whole number. So therefore, it's already in its simplest form. So you're going to put the whole number in front. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I hope this helps you.